Yes, Lord, this is Anderson Paak. You listening to the Jukebox representing 805. Let's get it.
Man, it took me at least a good like 6 years to actually start putting things together where I thought like, oh man, you know, I actually am going to do music because, you know what, I love it and I see that I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. Like good or bad, you know, happening in my life, I'm always going to have music.
Works hard and plays all day. Makeup and the models get paid. Saves up for a brighter day. Love to her is never to be taken lightly. Kissing her is like being hit by lightning. It's about 2:45 a.m. She don't smoke, but she always got a pen. And she love how I kick my game. And she told me that we need to break it out just to make the shit happen. The years we invested, goddamn my tears in a napkin. I still can't believe that the shit just happened. Oh, I can't believe that the shit just happened. Now I need a little bit of time to think about myself for a few.
Before we begin, I want to thank our sponsor, Rough to Fluff. For all of our Ventura County-based listeners looking to get your dog groomed, look no further than Rough to Fluff. It's a female and family-owned and run luxury dog grooming salon located in Camarillo. For more information or to book your appointment now, call 805-702-4445. That's 805-702-4445. Call now. Welcome back to the Jukebox. Today with us is Joe Henry III. We're here to talk about your latest projects, right? And your upcoming projects.
Yep. Got a bunch of new stuff and tons of old stuff, and you know, apparently it's being received fairly well. But yeah, a lot of good stuff in the future.
All right, so we'll get into specifics in a little bit, but for those that aren't familiar with you, what can you tell us about yourself and the music that you make?
Well, I'm a singer-songwriter artist. I started off in my bedroom. I just started throwing things together and I don't know, I just really wanted to make it happen for myself. Did a lot of practicing by myself. Once somebody eventually heard me, they were just like, hey, you know, you should get out and, you know, do a little bit of something. And I was just like, nah, like I'm not ready. But when I make my music now, I like to make it as if it has no lyrics at all. One of my biggest goals when I first started was I wanted my music to be in motion pictures, movies, commercials, things like that. And I don't know, the words just came after that, and it was pretty cool watching everything kind of come to light. Man, I remember in high school, I tried to sit down and write my first song, and it was an epic fail. I sat there for like over an hour staring at a blank page. And again, I wanted to make it happen for myself, you know, so it, you know, nothing happens overnight. It took tons of practice. And man, it took me at least a good like 6 years to actually start putting things together where I thought like, oh man, you know, I actually am going to do music because, you know what, I love it and I see that I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. Like good or bad, you know, happening in my life, I'm always going to have music. And so I just really tried to start putting together a catalog for myself. And I thought, what am I going to want to hear? What do I want to hear right now? So like my first album, it was more of like heartbreak, you know, because I was like what I was going through at the time, you know, a lot of drama with the exes and stuff like that.
And that would be Seasons, right?
That would be the Seasons album. Okay. Yeah. That we get into this later, but yeah, the Seasons album was my first one, and I called it Seasons because it was based off of what I thought was the seasons of love, you know, from the very beginning, the freshness of a relationship all the way to the end.
So okay, so you say you first started writing, getting into it in high school, but not taking it seriously until like 6 years later.
It
right?
was more of just like poem writing. I'd say.
Writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was like the very first song you actually like wrote, and was that one recorded, and did you release it?
The first song that I ever wrote was my Freebird song, and that was on my second album, Resurgent.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't make it on the first album was because I had such a big vision for it, and I didn't think, because the first album I was just learning, man. Like I wanted to be well seasoned in order to like get that song done, because in my mind it was a banger. So I wanted the trumpets, I wanted the saxophones, I wanted the drums super loud, I wanted the rock guitar, you know, and so it was Freebird, but it took it years and years to get there.
Okay, yeah, and I noticed we actually just had Mark Ford here. I noticed that you had him on the track, which kind of surprised me. How did you go? Did you originally picture that when you said you wrote it? Did you picture it with the rapper on there, or how did it come about?
So check this out. When I wrote the song, I had envisioned it with a rapper. It had a totally different instrumental. It was something that I made off of Fruity Loops, and I think I did the second verse. I rapped it. And, you know, like back in the day when I was just like, man, I could do all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew eventually I wanted to get somebody that was just super fucking dope. That was like my favorite rapper. Like, I love rap, dude.
Yeah.
And from my city, Mark Ford, I think he's got the crown. So I was like, I saw him at the VCMAs the last time I was there, and I saw him sitting at the bar at the after party, and I was like, yo, what up, Ford? And I was like, man, I got this track. You want in? And he was like, yeah, man, like, you know, slide it over my way. And it worked out, man. It just the way that I imagined that it would.
You did win Album of the Year, right?
Yes, that was in 2019, I believe.
Yeah, that's big, man.
2019. No, 2019. I think that was best live band. Sorry, 2020 was the best album for Seasons.
So you won best live band too?
The year before that,
and
yeah.
Best album. Okay.
And then the year after that, best album.
How do you feel that? What that does for the city and other artists and everything like that?
You know what? It does a lot, man. And you know, I've kind of been in the music scene, and I know quite a few people that are like that are involved. And you know what, man? These guys don't get nothing. They don't get nothing, and they're legit doing it for their city and doing it for the musicians. And you know, shout out to Tim Amoroso, man. Like, he really makes it happen for his city, and he loves his city. And I love that guy because on a personal level, he's a fucking genuine guy. He's a really good guy. But like I said, these guys, they do it for nothing. And, you know, it's everything to some people. You know what I mean? And that's special, man. That's really special. So
yeah, I think that brings a lot of I don't know the word for it. It shows a lot of appreciation for the local artists. And it also showcases them as well, because I look at somebody post like, hey, vote for me in this, and I go look in the list, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know these bands or these videos, and then I check them out. So shout them out for sure. They're definitely doing big things for the city. Let's see. If you were to branch into some other genres, what route would you take?
If I were to branch in any genres, let me see. From the very beginning, I wanted to touch all of them, except for metal. All my friends in high school, they were all metalheads, and I think I got enough metal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so with that being said, there's tons of other things that I still have to get into. I want to bridge a lot of genres, and like that's why I like to throw like, you know, classical in the Freebird song. Like I always imagine I wanted an orchestra in that. Yeah. And I'm starting to drift off into like a folky sound, and I also have like this like alter ego that wants to come out, and it's more like an R&B where like I'm probably gonna try to get like some more features in, because I don't know, man. There's just so much to do, and we're just getting older every day, and I see a lot of these older cats, like they're just trying to stay relevant. You know, they're just trying to do whatever it is they need to do.
Yeah.
But it's not happening organically, and like I have projects that are just like sitting on my fucking computer right now. Like I'm just staring at them, and I'm just like, man, is it ever gonna like get out? And I don't know. I'm getting to the point right now where I'm just like, I'm not hearing from anybody. I'm not hearing from any other musicians, and I just want to fucking release everything, man. I just want to be like, here you guys go, and then like later I'm out.
Just drop it all.
And the thing is that it wouldn't even be like a specific genre, because like each one would be something totally different. Because that's the way I like to treat each song, is like it's its own child, and it takes its own, it needs its own love, in a different way. It needs to be tended to.
Now I know they're all your babies, of course.
Got lots of songs.
Do you have any favorite ones? Can you name like 3 favorite ones that you're just like, that I'm holding those down?
You know what? It's a weird relationship with the music, because what people don't really think about is that, to be the artist in these songs, you listen to these songs
a million times,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of times, and sometimes you get to the point where you're just like, fuck, man, like somebody like I'll hear my wife listening to it in the background, and I'll just be like, fuck, just turn that shit off, but I have to say my favorite track that I don't mind listening to, gosh, I'd have to say it's probably my Magnolia song, only because it's soft and somewhat rough in some spots, but it's kind of like a perfect little melancholy mixture of tons of different emotions, kind of just all thrown into a pot, and it's pretty dope. It's special to me because I wrote it when I found out that me and my wife were pregnant, and I wanted to leave behind something in case like I died and I couldn't like raise my kids. And that's also where like all the writing started changing for the second album too, because like I already went through the seasons, and like I knew what it was, and I've always had a great appreciation for life, but I just wanted to write something worth writing that was going to be relevant 50 years from now, 100 years from now. Everybody feels these emotions, but you know what? Unfortunately, the world wants the cookie cutter music right now, where it's like, oh yeah, it's super catchy, but when you turn 45, 50 years old and you get tired of that shit, I'll be here at home in my garage waiting, watching the downloads, and like, I don't know, I kind of look at it from that standpoint, where it's like, it's just a matter of time. Yeah, everybody will get there.
You're looking to make long-term music, not popcorn.
Yeah, man. Because I like the old rock, the rock oldies, and I want my music to be on those playlists. You know what I mean? Like right. All the greats, they're all dying, man. And it's like we need to pass the torch, man.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and speaking about kind of passing the torches, can you let us know some of your biggest successes and failures?
Oh my gosh. I think I will start with the successes. My greatest success is my family. Because where I started musically, I was in a really dark place, and I didn't know that I was in a dark place. So it took me going through the seasons to understand myself, and also trying to understand like the world around me. My greatest success is my family. I worked hard for my family. I continue to work hard for my family, and my family fuels me. They are the fuel to my fire and to my creativity. And I don't know, it just makes my heart pump right now, just like thinking about it. I can feel the blood flowing right now. But yeah, like it's a beautiful thing, man. Like all my songs, I don't just sit down and try to like fuck with your head. Like I actually experience that. Those are real. Like I try to stay away from metaphors as much as possible, because when I first started off, I didn't know how to write. So it was more of like poetry to me, and a lot of my songs are like old text messages thrown together, old poems that I had written from before, old melodies that I thought that I had forgotten, and I don't know, like voice memos in my old phones and shit. Like I would just pull them out and be like, oh wow, like, and
build off of that.
And then build off of that. Like now that I'm a little bit more experienced, I can like literally do whatever I want. And that's because of like all the hard work. But again, my greatest success is my family. My biggest failure, I'd have to say, was I just wasted a lot of time, man. I wasted a lot of time trying to fix myself in unhealthy ways. And I've hurt a lot of people. I haven't hurt a lot of people, but I have hurt people. Yeah. And I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for the people that I had to step on to get to where I'm at now. Unfortunately, you know, we all make mistakes, but I don't know, man. I don't really I have failures every day, man. Every day, you know, I got kids, and I just really try not to let my family down. And I think being social, I fail at being social. That's where I've lost a lot of people too, because as a musician, people expect me to be a performer. I'm not a performer. I'm more of like an artist, where like I just like to kind of be left alone to kind of like create something and be like, wow, like I fuck with this. I want to see if you can, you know what I mean? Like that excites me, and just not being social with people, you know, like I've lost a lot of people like that. A lot of people, you know, fuck it though, you know, we're all doing our own thing, and you know, it is what it is. It's just life, man. Don't take it serious. Just a light show.
All right. I love that, and congratulations on the kid and the marriage, right?
That's right.
I don't think you were married when I had met you, right?
No.
Yeah, so that's some big events going on over the past couple years, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations
man.
on that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so again, we're here to talk about Joe Henry III's latest projects and his upcoming projects, and we'll be right back to talk about that.
They say crime doesn't pay. Then baby, why you steal my heart? Pictures of you. Yeah, these pictures of you, these pictures of me. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful dream. Oh, and your smile. Oh, your smile on that beautiful screen. Oh, your heart's my desire. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I won't stop and they won't go. All these feelings, so you know, 'cause you have them too.
Welcome back again. We're here with Joe Henry III, talking about his latest projects and his upcoming projects. And what can you tell us about that?
My new upcoming projects, I have a few of them. They're gonna hit a couple different genres. I got a pretty cool country song that I'm working on with local artist Jaden Secor. He's also up for Album of the Year with me for this last round, VCMAs.
Yeah.
Talented artist. I'm doing a track with him. I just got done doing a Christmas track with Katie Lee. Did some backup vocals for her. Might have like some R&B kind of vibe.
That's right.
You know, you know, it might hit sometime soon. A lot of different stuff kind of coming out. I like to follow happenings in the sky. You know, like that's why I like to drop songs like on full moons, blood moons, eclipses. I like to play on people's emotions like that. Usually people are acting a certain way whenever there's,
that's a smart move.
You know, whenever
that's
there's other happenings happening. So
that's unique. I've never heard an artist
you know, it's always been a thing ever since me and my wife got together. We've always had an intense mutual love for the moon, and for our own reasons, and again, just for the emotional response from people.
Okay, and did you do that with Seasons?
I did do that with Seasons.
Okay.
Resurgent as well. And also my latest single, Wild Child, available everywhere now. I released that on a full moon as well.
Okay, and to dive into Seasons, what can you tell us about that?
My Seasons album, it actually it was released the year before it won the award. It was, however, retracted because sound purposes. I didn't think that it sounded good enough. So I had to retract that, work on it a little bit more, and it worked out. It did something, you know. But yeah, there was a lot of work put into that album. It was pretty much like 10 years worth of living.
Wow.
Pretty much in that album. Me just trying to figure it out, and I did. I somewhat cracked the musical code, got my rhythm, so to say.
And that brings us to your sophomore album, Resurgent.
My big boy album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on with that one? What can you tell us about that?
I named that one Resurgent because the first album it started off, I was in a really dark place. Actually, the Seasons album, I first started writing, I had the 3 last songs pretty much written. And I wrote those songs when I was with somebody else. And then when I met my wife, I was able to experience life a little bit differently. And then that's when I realized that I started my album halfway through, and my wife allowed me to complete that album. So she, it started not so great, angry, sad, and then that's when I got the beginning of this relationship where it was all the love and the ooey gooey and then the next part where it was like, wow, this is great, you know, a little bit of red wine, you smell the pine, you know, hot tub, you know, the good stuff in the relationship, and that allowed me to tie the Seasons album to get that done. But the Resurgent album, it was me dealing with a lot of stuff that I had going on from like my past that I've been hanging on to, and the music is my therapy, pretty much. It is my life, and every song is very true. I hold it, you know, it's like my child, you know. It's very important to me, and to a certain point, you know, I had to think to myself, man, do I really want to put this in that album? Because, you know, I know certain people are listening and I don't want to hurt people's feelings and shit, but, you know, everything happens for a reason. And you know what, if it was meant to be that way, you know, fuck it, man. Like, you know, just let go, live life. And that was why I named the album Resurgent, because I was letting go of all the hurt, and I was starting a family, you know, raising a baby boy, and it just totally flipped my world upside down, man. I just wanted to make something worth listening to, instead of all the hollering and screaming and being like, man, I'm so hurt, you know. I wanted to make something somewhat beautiful, so that was kind of my little stab at that.
Now, before you said, you know, you got a new relationship, kind of changed your thinking on the album. Are there songs like hidden away that would have been on, I don't know if you have the name already, but would have been on a different style album if that relationship didn't come about?
I don't want to say no. I mean, who knows, man? It's a totally different path, like what we were talking about earlier. One door closes, another one opens, and who knows where I would be? Shit, I have no idea. For all I know, I'd be trying to be like, you know, the world's tallest rapper or something like that. I don't know, you know. I just kind of, I found my niche, you know. I found a place where I was comfortable, and, you know, I felt like I wasn't being judged too much, because, you know, it's very unfortunate that we're all afraid of being judged by fucking everybody, including like our families and shit. And I think everybody just kind of needs to slow down and fix yourself. And if you're married, like, you know, just grab onto your partner, man, and just lock yourselves down, get yourself right, and then from there, like, it just projects outward, man. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. If you're just going about life trying to be all bitter and shit, then nothing's gonna happen for you, man. Like, if if you're sitting on the couch and you're just thinking like, man, I really want to write that album, I really want to get that shit done, well then get off your fucking ass and like, you know, go looking for that shit. You know, you need to go out, you need to try, you need to do something in order to get something. You know, you got to start somewhere.
That's some great advice.
So
that's some great advice, especially after these, you know, past couple of years with COVID and everything. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough on artists.
You know, I know a lot of people are, you know, I was very fortunate, you know, to have gone through the COVID years the way that I did. You know, a lot of people they're not so fortunate. But I think that COVID is something that the world kind of needed to, you know, stay home for a couple days and feel your body, feel the messages that your body is giving you, and, you know, drink some fucking water, you know, like, you know, maybe don't smoke that bowl or I don't know, whatever it is, you know, lay out,
just a pause,
just rest,
it was a
just
pause,
rest, you know, we all need rest. Everybody's tired, you know, that's why we all treat each other the way that we do, because we're all fucking tired, you know. But take care of yourself, man, and from there, like, the world should be good, you know, so.
Okay, and on Seasons and Resurgent, I noticed that you have instrumentals.
Oh yeah.
What brought that idea about?
I just really wanted to release instrumentals because I don't really like to hear my voice, and I like to listen to my instrumentals because they move me, and I hope that they move other people the way that they move me, and that's why I released those in the album too, because I just thought like it's too beautiful to not. I feel like I would be kind of like screwing the listener by just being like, here's me, you know, just me. But like, nah, what if you want to like zone out in your garage and like do some art or something, then you can like throw on some of my instrumentals, and like, you know, it has climaxes and like it takes you on a journey and stuff like that.
They are very beautiful.
Poets, you know, I started doing open mics at Casa Slams in Oxnard. Shout outs to Casa Agria. They have poetry nights there every like third Wednesdays of every month. And I remember I started there, and I always thought to myself like, wow, I would love to have my instrumentals for poets, because there's a lot of poets nowadays where they like to have something playing in the background while they're reading and they're doing things. And I think that would be really fucking cool. A lot of people don't know that it's there, but it is there. My instrumentals are there and they're available. They're on Instagram. You know, I don't go on Facebook, but I believe I pay my distributors to put it on Facebook. My latest album, Resurgent, however, is not on social media platforms for reasons that I do not know. I've been trying to get a hold of the company for months and months since the album got released, and they kind of just give me the runaround, just like, oh, it'll take it a few days, but here we are, 4 months later, I'm still waiting. So unfortunately, iTunes, Spotify, that's the only place where you could find my Resurgent album. YouTube, everywhere else except for social media platforms.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And who's helping you, or do you have people helping you with the like the instruments that are played?
Oh yeah. So it's not just me on all my tracks, which probably a lot of people probably think that it is. Pretty much my part in my tracks is I just lay down the bass roots of the whole song. I'll come up with the strums, I'll come up with the lyrics, and you know, everything in between. But I have certain people that are like Jaden Secor. He's always laying down guitar licks for me because he's a super talented guitarist. Me personally, I don't know the difference between an A chord and a D chord. You know, I know how to play them, but I can't tell you what it is that I'm doing. But this cat, he could tell you everything in between about all of it. So he's been a really big asset to me, and he's only 19, I think 20 years old.
That was the one in the video, right?
Yeah. So he's a guitarist that's in the music video, the Think About Me Too music
really
video.
Good. Really good.
Yeah. He's really good, super talented, and he's just the local musician that I get to help me out. I also outsource for drums. I believe, I feel so bad I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. He used to be a drummer for Enrique Iglesias, and I hired him on a website called airgigs.com, and he just like laid down all my tracks super quick, super clean. Like I said, I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head, give him a shout out. But also the orchestra in all of my works, those all got done in Russia by a woman named Maria Grigovia, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing that wrong. But she actually used to be hired. She used to be a contractor for Warner Brothers Studios. She used to do pieces for big motion pictures and stuff like that as well. And I knew that when I saw and chit-chatted with her online, I was like, oh man, I got to get her on there. And it's interesting too, because you have to explain what it is that you want to people, and you don't know how to. But so it took a lot of research for me. Like I in order to communicate with like these professional musicians, I had to go online and I had to look up what staccato is and stuff like that. And I had to teach myself so that way I could communicate with everybody. And JP Hesser, also the producer from the studio, he laid down a lot of keys for me in Oregon because he has a lot of cool instruments in there. And we just super vibed out, man. And whatever it is we couldn't do in the studio ourselves, we would just kind of outsource. We would grab and get what we needed and make it happen, you know?
How do you go about, like, if you have an idea for a song, do you, in your head, like, know the guitar part, know the drums, know this or that? Or, I mean, you did say, like, you lay down the bass of it. Are you, like, do something with it? Or are you, like, humming it? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a really good balance of not knowing what you're doing and kind of trying to take control of the project and being like, you know, this is what it's going to be. Because most of the time for me, it's like, I have to hear it first, again, because I don't know how to play. So I do it all by ear. That's why I don't like to listen to a lot of artists that are out and super hip right now, because the way that my ear works is like, once I hear it, it kind of gets stored into this little memory bank. And then like, I don't know if like, oh man, that was a really catchy little thing that I just came up with right there. Or like, was that somebody else's? Like, that's why I don't like to fuck. That's why I don't like to listen to other people. I just like to kind of like, you know, keep to myself. And my wife actually helps me write a lot of songs too.
Oh, really?
Redwood Cottage. She helped me write that. We actually took a getaway. We went up north. We got an Airbnb called Redwood Cottage, and we pretty much just vibed out. We were drinking tea, just hanging out in the hot tub, drinking wine, and we wrote a song, Redwood Cottage. And my newest release, Wild Child, she helped me write that as well. Wow. She just like jotted something on my whiteboard that I have right there where I just jot down ideas, and she just wrote in real big letters, and she just wrote, "You're a wild child. Don't forget where you came from." And I had an instrumental that I had, and I didn't have anything written for it, but I was kind of like poking fun at it. Plugged in the microphone, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, try this out. And I was just like looking around, and then it just caught my eye on the whiteboard, and I was just like, you know, you're a wild child. Yeah. And it sounded fucking perfect, man. And actually me just messing around on that track, that was the cut that made it onto the track, because I couldn't duplicate it the way that I had done it before, because I was trying too hard. And that's something that my wife has always told me too, like, don't try so hard, you know, which is very true. That's advice that I would give to any other artists out there. You know, don't try so hard. Try. you gotta try, but you know, once you get there, just get comfortable. You know, get comfortable and be yourself. You know, don't try to be you know, whoever is out there. So yeah, usually it's an interesting balance of the two. And drum wise, I need to hear it first, and then I make decisions. For the Seasons album, my Y track, that was a really intense cut the first time we cut drums for that, because I was actually in the room with the drummer, and I was right before he had to like hit the kick drum. I was telling him how many times to hit the kick drum, so he was having to drum while paying attention to me. Wow. And like, you know, so it was pretty intense work. Again, like collaborating with other artists, you know, you got to have your shit together, you know. You got to rehearse with people, you know. Don't just jump into the studio when you're spending tons of money and expect to figure it out and get a good product, because it doesn't. You need to work. You need to do the work.
Yeah,
you know?
You got to be able to work with people.
You got to do your homework. So
and know what you want. Did you also go I mean, the people that you outsourced, was that like a one and done, or are you able to send that back and be like, hey, if you could just change this like one thing or a couple things, it'd be perfect?
I'm trying to think. I believe the whole first season's album, that was one drummer. He told me, like, I sent him the tracks and he said, okay, I listened to the tracks. It's going to be about X amount of dollars per track. And I said, all right, cool. Well, I need these like fucking yesterday. So I just sent him all the tracks and I just said, as you cut them, send them to me, and we'll do edits. And I didn't have to do too many edits, because these guys are professionals, and whatever it is that I needed done, me and JP would just kind of like handle it on the computer here on our end. And so for that guy, it was a one and done album. I believe for the Resurgent album, I think I got that guy to get in. No. I got a totally different drummer for the second album, but also I got a local drummer. His name is Daniel. Damn, I'm so bad with names, man. He's an excellent drummer. He does tons of videos, local videos, and he's got the vibe, man. And I got him on my Freebird track because he's more of like a hip hop kind of a metal kind of drummer. Real quick with it, the hi-hats and stuff. And I knew that I wanted something more hip hop for the Freebird song because that was going to be the banger, and I knew that Mark Ford was going to be in it, and also my I Forgive You song. I sent him the song that was supposed to be a very like emotional song, like of me just like forgiving myself and forgiving the world pretty much. I knew that I wanted something more serious, like a drum roll kind of like a damn those dudes on the battlefield, the fucking you know what I mean, and he killed it, man. Like he was on 2 of those tracks on the album, and other than that, Tony Glossy. He's a really talented trumpet player from Chicago. He's touring all over the world right now, and I bounce tracks to him too, and he sends them back. And super talented guy, man. Like I've never had to edit anything that he has done, and I put everything that he sends me in my tracks, and like it's just fucking, it's amazing, man. It's cool getting all these different people because they all have totally different styles, and you just bring them all together, and it's just like this big pot of yumminess,
Are there any specific like instrumentalists or artists that you want to work with?
I'd have to say no. No, I'd have to say everybody else is either too old or they're gone already.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to meet a lot of people, and you know what? It'd be cool I would love to collaborate with fucking anybody. You know what I mean? I'm down for whatever, man. Like I don't have my eyes set on anybody. I'm just kind of like just focused on what I'm doing, and I figure everything else will come.
Where the vibe takes you, like the Mark IV.
Because it constantly changes, man. Like I kind of. I don't know which direction I'm going in now. So, but it is happening. It's happening in a bunch of different places, and it'll be a fun journey.
All right, and can you give us just to close things out? Can you give us some advice that you might give to up and coming artists?
I would say. Try to do as much as you can yourself before you start seeking from others. Only so that way you can give yourself the opportunity to grow as much as you can before. I don't want people to kind of like be taking the easy way out. I see a lot of people, they're trying to do the collaborating thing because they want to kind of like piggyback off of somebody else's success. So you kind of need to give yourself as much room as possible to grow, and also once you find a spot where you're comfortable, just relax. Don't take it so serious. When you're writing songs, try to be true to yourself. Think about what your kids are gonna be listening to. what if you're gone in the future and your kids think like, wow, I wonder what my dad was like, you know? Well, they could listen to your music, man. As long as you properly made your music, then they could get a glimpse into your life, and you can teach them things without even being here. You can, love is my religion, man. If we all just kind of just take that concept and kind of run with it, and music is a beautiful, powerful thing, man. And as long as you're doing things correctly, you can change the world, man. You could really change the world. I'm a firm believer of that. And unfortunately, it's kind of turned me into a little bit of an introvert. But
Same.
When you're comfortable, you know, just learn from yourself. Take notes.
All right. Those are some wise words. Joe Henry III, thank you again for being with us, my man.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it,
All right.
my man. Thank you so much.